Scott had an important, can we turn that off as soon as we're done?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Come on in, Caitlin.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Kate. It's nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Donna.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Please have a chair. You're here for the position of Roe v. Wade, correct?
Mm-hmm.
The resettlement caseworker?
That's correct.
Okay. For a few minutes here today, that we're going to just get to know you a little better.
Okay.
And then we will have some that we'll call back for a second interview.
Okay.
So depending on how well you do today.
Sounds good.
Glad that you're here. All right, we're going to alternate in asking questions so that we can all have an opportunity to get you know better. But let me just start out with a few things. For example, what do you understand the position to be? Why are you here?
I understand it to be basically working as a liaison between refugees who have just arrived here and the general world, like their employers, the people that they get housing from, like those kinds of situations. I think it's a very important position. I think that obviously someone coming from another country has no idea what to do here. Like there's going to be a language barrier. They're probably very, very not okay, and not comfortable yet. And I think that it's very important to have people in place that can just kind of assist them and make them more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So I bet that's basically what I understand it to be.
Okay. All right. I'm just going to ask a real short follow-up question. That we've described it as a cultural broker. What's a cultural broker to you?
To me, it's someone that is willing to bridge the gap in between cultures. So they're coming from culture A and they're entering culture C, and I'm working as point B to kind of make the transition a little bit more smooth and to prevent as much misunderstandings as possible, basically.
What kind of qualities do you have that allow you to do that well?
I love to observe people. I love to just be the creepy person that just watches. And so because of that, I pick up on a lot of cues. I pick up on how people are feeling a little bit better. I pick up on what's expected a little bit more. And so I feel like that just helps in that broker situation to understand where the person is coming from and understanding where they need to go.
Have you had any cross-cultural experience?
I've had a little bit. I had a job similar to this past summer where I had campers that came from a whole range of different countries, and they were here on my campus actually, and I kind of had to work as their hostess. I had to make sure they understood what was going on. I had to interact between the school and themselves because obviously they couldn't come to people in charge and try to explain what they wanted. They had to come to me or one of the staff members first. So one of the only real differences is just it's higher stakes, and instead of wealthy kids coming on vacation, it's people who don't necessarily want to be here and are just kind of have to be.
You're serving as a caseworker in this situation, and one of the necessary skills is the ability to multitask. Can you share a little bit about how you were able to manage different work tasks effectively without being under too much stress?
I'm very good at switching in between hats, is the best way to put it. I can have multiple roles and multiple tasks at the same time. In my previous job, I had to be their friend. That was one thing, but I also had to be in charge of them, and I also had to be somebody that they were able to go to. And that was something I was able to multitask very well. I also had to be in charge of paperwork and making sure that situations were both fun and safe at the same time. And so that was a very big thing in multitasking, and just the things that go along with working with people. You're never going to be focused on one specific thing at a time.
One of the things about being a caseworker is that you're often involved with a number of government agencies, and you're also kind of their lifeline in terms of record keeping. So could you tell us a little bit about your organizational skills, your computer skills, your office kinds of skills? One of the perks of this is you get no secretary, so.
I've actually been working as a secretary for the last 4 years. So I have a lot of secretarial skills. I know how to file things, I know how to alphabetize, I know how to not mix up paperwork and to keep things in their own separate places. I can make copies, I can make phone calls, all of those basic things that are required. So that's something that I'm very confident in.
What would you say is the best environment in which you function well? High structure, low structure, something, that description.
I function the best in a mixture of the two. I like to come into something knowing exactly what's expected of me, but then once I'm confident in that position, I like to be given the room to grow. I'm very much I like to be all into things, so I'm not going to just show up and do my teeny tiny little portion and be satisfied with that. I want to be involved, I want to know what's going on, and I want to make what I'm doing a part of my life. So low structure in the end is what works the best for me.
World Relief is a part of the NAE, and so it's a part of the church, and we'd like to hear a little bit about how you feel about the church in its current state.
I feel like the church is the organization that's supposed to be in charge of all this. I think that when Christ left, that is what he told us to do. We were to take care of the widows and the orphans and the aliens, and so we're basically we're the ones. It's our primary responsibility as a church to take care of these things. And I think that because the church has neglected that in some points, it's made it necessary for organizations to come into place. But I do think it's very important for the church to reestablish its role as the primary caretaker of people.
Related to that, could you talk a little bit about God's call in your life, and this is very much a serving kind of position, and just why you would choose to apply for that?
God's calling on my life is a very general thing. I'm called to help wherever is necessary, and that shows in my personality. I'm very good at filling in the cracks of whatever needs to be done. I just adapt myself to do it. And I think that's part of what God has called me to do, to just find a place where the need is and to just fulfill it however I best can.
I'm not sure how much time we have left, but I want to give you time to ask us a question, if you have any questions for us.
A major question that I did have was, I looked briefly at the history of World Relief, and it was the website it didn't mention how it was founded, how it came to be. Can you elaborate on that?
On your way out, we'd like to give you a book, the history of World Relief, and get caught up to speed on that. Yeah, thank you for your interest in that. That means a lot.
It definitely was started as a relief arm of a denomination, but then became multi-denominational. Yes, it was expanded.
One other question we had covered, do you speak any other language?
I speak enough Spanish to get by. I've been told by a couple of my Spanish friends that I speak like a 4-year-old. So I speak enough where I can get things done, and I really have no shame in trying. I'm very enthusiastic about using my language skills, and I'm confident that if put into an immersive situation where I'm constantly using it, that I'll pick it up again. I used to be a lot better than I am now, but I've lost a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I didn't give out copies of my resume. That's probably very necessary.
Yes, we would
for you guys to just know who I am,
Yes.
see what I'm